Hello all my fine feathered friends out there, and welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Fantasy Builder International with me, your buddy Kenny Conklin. Sorry if you hear any background noise. The little guy and I got a rock polisher yesterday because he loves rocks and he's got them spinning over there, so I don't know if you can hear it or not, but if you do, that's what you're hearing in the background. Fixing up the rocks and making them all shiny, and it's a long freaking process. Didn't realize how long. But anyway, let's bring you as usual over to the desk, and let me flip the thing around so I can see what we're doing here. And yay. Okay, we got her all primed up. All prime. And we're gonna start hitting her with paint today. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it on camera or not, just because I don't want the overspray getting on the camera. I don't have a spray booth, so I gotta put out the paper. What I'm out of is, I used to use, is doggy wee-wee pads. Instead of paper and crumple it up, wee-wee pad soaks in all the excess from the paint. But anyway, there isn't many colors to this ship at all. Probably blocking the microphone on that one. The main of the ship is desert yellow. As you can see, I'm using acrylics. And I'm using RLM gray, which is the same pretty much as dark ghost gray. I don't know why I got two of them, but I did. Should have got two of these instead, because there's not much gray on it. It's mostly that color. And then there's the highlights in black. Black is just for a couple parts, and then there's some purple. I got the yellow in there, and it's supposed to be chromate green on there, and or green chromate, I'm sorry. And if you use interior green, like they did, this is basically the color, the inside of World War II planes. It's the same as green chromate. So that's gonna be that. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do on these pieces here. These are like exhaust pipes, and I did it once before, but I don't remember how I did it, with like a metallic blue and then copper and a metallic blue to make it look like it was hot. Gotta see if I can replicate that again to get that in there, but there's not really many colors on here, so it shouldn't be too bad. The only bad thing is this is a light color, and it's really gonna look like a toy once it's done, and I don't want it to look like that, so you might have to do a little heavy weathering on it. Maybe on these panels make that tan a little darker to bring out the couple different panels in it. I gotta see what I'm gonna do, and hopefully it comes out okay. So we'll get to painting. We'll see if we can do a little on camera or not, and we'll be back in a little while. And we got a little bit of the base coat on. There's a couple spots that I did miss, and grooves and stuff like that has to be done, but this is only the first coat, and that's the major color on the ship itself. And then the places that are still primed up, that's going to be the dark ghost gray. And then all the little, if I can see right there, all these little guys have to be done. Stuff up here, weathering, and all that other stuff. So hopefully as the day progresses, we'll get more and more of this done. I'm gonna let this sit for a while before I start putting another coat on it, and then we'll be back. Okay, what I've done so far is I got the desert tan base coat on, and then after that I misted all around and just flat black, misted it everywhere, really light, so I didn't penetrate the original color. And then what I did was I took the original color and I started misting over the black, because I don't think the Kazon ship is going to be as pristine as a Federation ship. So that's starting to get nice and dirty and grungy looking. And then what I'm going to do now is take the original color that I have on here I'm gonna add a little black to the original color, make that a little darker, and start doing a little paneling and getting that done. Let me put this up here, maybe you can see. I don't know why I can't get lighting right today, but I'm hoping you're seeing the difference between the first shot of how light the color was and how dirty it's starting to get. And it'll get a little dirtier once I add a couple drops of black to it, get a little dirtier and messed up. And then we'll be off to masking this sucker and doing the gray. So let me get to that and we'll be back. Okay, so I got the third color on there, a little bit darker than the original. You can see where it's lighter and then gets a little darker and darker with the black. And it's not such a pretty clean ship. Made the underneath nice and dirty, because I really don't think these guys are taking care of their ship, especially a little kamikaze ship like this guy. But you know, where the ventilation and everything is, I try to make this a little more dirtier than up front where there's not really anything pushing through. And then once we're done painting, we'll probably get out the pastels, throw a little black over here and a little black over here from the exhaust of this guy. Maybe a little bit over here because it's pretty much straight, a little on the stabilizers. And that's pretty much it. So it's coming along. We're getting it dirty. Once the gray gets on there, it'll look even better. Instead of having the same color on the whole ship, it'll break it up some. And then I'm debating what I'm gonna do now. I may actually mask it up, mask the whole thing off so I don't mess up the back of the ship. I did paint this guy silver first before we do the gray, and then do the salt chipping technique. But we'll see what we'll do with that, because I don't want it to look perfect. I want some chips and stuff in here. I even did that with some of the puttying I did. I actually messed it up a little bit on purpose, left it pitted and stuff to give it that beat up look. So hopefully that comes across. And we're off to do some more stuff and we'll be back. Okay, the rear is dry and we're gonna start working on the front. The shiny stuff that you see there is the Vallejo mask, the resin mask. Put it everywhere that I don't want paint on. I was a little sloppy in places, so there's gonna be a little bit of hand touch up that I gotta do. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna paper off the back of it, because I don't wanna ruin that with silver. I'm gonna spray this guy up silver, and then I'll show you that, and we'll be off to the salt treatment. And the titanium silver is on. I used titanium silver because I didn't want it as bright as a regular silver. This way, when we're chipping, it's a little bit more realistic. I probably should have used just like primer gray or a little bit lighter of a gray than I'm gonna be putting on there. But the silver will look fine. We're gonna let this dry for a little while. Once it's all nice and dry, we'll get over to the salt technique. Okay, our silver is dry, so I'm moving on to the salt chipping effect. What I use, I don't use table salt. I use good old, if it'll focus, sea salt. And if the wife sees me using her good sea salt, I'm a dead man. But they're not here tonight, they're out with the cousins. I don't use the table salt because it's too fine and it doesn't give me the effect that I like. So what I do is I take the sea salt, put it on the table, smack it up a bit, and get it to different shapes and sizes. And what I do is I wet the paintbrush and I get some of the salt on it, and at the front of the ship I'm gonna have more chipping than the back. And we're gonna get the top, done up first. Let that dry. And then we'll do the bottom once that's dry. Try to make it like crazy. You know, you don't want it to look all the same all around. And when I get back here, I'm not going to put as much as I have up front. Just a couple here and there. And then once we paint the gray, I didn't have enough water on there. Once we paint the gray over here, we should have some nice chipping effects to it. I'm gonna have to break up more because I didn't break up enough because I wanted to start filming this. But it's no big deal. If you could, I was trying to wet the model, but the slopes and everything, it's just falling right off. There's different ways you can do it. However you feel comfortable. That's all that matters. If you feel comfortable doing it a different way and get the same results, good for you. That's what counts. Not every way is perfect. My ways are not the greatest at times, but I get the results that I want. So that's all that really matters to me, as long as I'm getting what I'm trying to get out of it, and it comes out looking good. And hopefully it comes out looking good once I'm done with this. I hope this is in frame. It is. Alright, so I'm going to play with this, get it all salted up, then we'll spray it. I'll show you with the salt on there, and then we'll take it off. So we'll see you again in a few minutes. Okay, so we got the gray on. Can't think of the name. Dark Ghost Gray is on there, and all the salt is on there. Got it sprayed up the bottom. Now the task of pulling the salt off and pulling the masking off. So all you gotta do is you can use your finger, or you can use a paintbrush, a stiff brush that's not gonna hurt the paint, and just go around knocking the salt off, and make sure you get it all off. Sometimes it's easier to do it with a little bit of water to loosen up the salt. And let's see. And as you can see, let me see if I can get this guy closer. I still got to clean up you can see where the salt ran down, but you can see the chipping effect that it makes. I'm sure most of you out there know it, but for those that don't, it's an easy way to chip the paint up. So I got a little bit of work. I want to do this before I have to do some other stuff, so I'll get this all cleaned up. We'll get the masking off, and I'll show you what it looks like before we go. All right, we'll see you all in a little while. So it was an uneventful night for the Kazon Torpedo. Me, the big dummy that I am, painting and forgetting steps. The back end, nice. Chipping, we got chipping done on her. There and there and there. Some chipping there. Chipping on the nose, which I'm going to fix that up because I really don't like it too much. It's a little too much. But what I forgot to do in my hastiness to start painting, I forgot to seal the front end with Future. This way it gave it a hard shell when I put down the mask over there, so I didn't ruin the paint. Obviously, I ruined the paint. So I had to peel it all off, scratched it all off, and then I repainted it with the Desert Tan, and now I got a sand in there because the Desert Tan actually showed up where all the bumps and everything are. But at least you can see the difference between this bright color is what they tell you to paint it. That was basically the base coat I did here And then I started making it darker, and shading it in different places and making it dirty and beating the hell out of this thing. It's not done yet, but it's getting there on beating it up. So I'm gonna call it quits for tonight on this. And we're gonna flip the camera around. And I won't get to it tomorrow. I guess after work on Monday, I'll get back to that, sanding it down and getting it back to where it's gotta be, putting the paint back on, dirtying it up again. I would work on it tomorrow, but tomorrow's hockey day with the little guy, so I gotta bring him out to do some skating and practice and stuff like that. So on Monday or Tuesday, hopefully I have a new video for you with it all patched up. And if anybody tells you modeling's easy and everything's perfect, it's not true. So everybody makes mistakes, roll with it. It's still with me. It's not in the garbage because I messed up. All I'm gonna do is sand it and fix it. So that'll be that for tonight. I thank you guys for watching the channel. Come to the Facebook page. Please spread the word about us, and again, see if you can go over to the campaign and check that out. We really want to bring you that magazine. So I hope you all have a good night, and I will probably talk to you all on Tuesday night. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.